It's your girl Sasha listening from the 317. Throughout my day, I listen to my homeboy, the midday lover, Jackie Tramel, on Global R&B 96.3.
Sasha. Shout out to the girl Sasha for always keeping it locked in with your boy, Jackie Tramel on your radio, baby. You know, we're going to hit you upside the head with the best R&B on the planet. Right about now, it took a while. We finally got the homegirl. We got the beautiful, delectable chocolate, the chocolate queen of radio, that is. Coco, go ahead and talk to him, baby.
Hey y'all, what's up, Jackie?
Yo, man. Listen, we got a crazy show today. Got a
Crazy.
crazy. I think, you know what? You know I like my ratchet stuff. I don't. That's
You
being
do.
sarcastic. No. This is not love and hip hop. This is not basketball wise. But every once in a while we get hit with a topic that, it might just hit the people just a little bit. So real talk, no disrespect to no other culture. Right now we're just talking to the black community, the black families. So we want to talk about what's really going on inside the black family. Is it what's going on with the single parent homes, the broken
Mhm.
bonds, the generational gaps, the pressures that's generally just coming from everywhere.
Mm.
Is it a crisis or is it just the world evolving around us? So I wanna go ahead and talk about it. I found this clip. I think it's named from Dr. JC Frazier or something. But
Mhm.
anyway, I found this clip. It's been rotating online for a while, and he's talking about the breakdown in the family. He talked about how the black family has the lowest percentages of marriage
Mm.
against other, cultures. So
Mm.
then we kind of talk about the evolution of that. So I just want to play this clip, and then we're gonna get into it. All right, you ready, Coco?
Let's run it.
Let's get it.
Black people have for the next 100 years, the number one challenge is the existential crisis of the black family. The existential crisis of the black family. Marriage in our culture is down to 34%. When we were growing up, it was 85%. It's now down to 34%. 71% of our sisters are not married. 29% will never get married. 63% of our brothers are not married. 30% of them will never get married. There is no culture in the history of humankind that has risen to maximize their full human potential without family at the center of their culture. Only exists. This is an interesting but negative statistic. This phenomenon of the existential crisis of our family only exists among African American black people. It does not exist on the continent or anywhere else in the diaspora. So there must be something in the water. We must fix this. It is a lot easier said than done because it is impacting our wealth. Quick statistics. For 350 years, household median income was dominated by white people. They were number one in this country. They no longer are number one, they're number three, and there's a reason for it. So, who has the highest household median wealth in America? It's East Indians. $104,000 a year. What's the marriage rate in the East Indian culture? 94%. Two are working. Who's number two?
Also interesting.
Chinese Asians.
Mhm.
Household median income $110,000 a year. Marriage rate close to 70%. Number three are white people.
Wow.
Household median income $88,000 a year. What's the marriage rate? Almost 50%.
So I want to put the statistics out there. I just want to start that off. And it ended up with black family, African American black family being as low as, the marriage rate is 34%. And our baseline that we bring in is about 55,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to put them statistics out there.
Okay. So when you hear existential crisis in the context of black family, like what do you hear? Like what do you feel like the main cause is?
Uh I think that context is really gonna be based off of it's gonna come down about who we are, about what holds us together, where we from. I think it talks about the structures of the family and how it's under pressure from the inside out, not from the outside in. I'm not even gonna talk about all the outside factors that we already know about slavery. We already know about all of that. We're talking about the things that just happen inside our community that we actually are probably doing to ourselves.
Mhm.
I think I'll definitely say people feel disconnected emotionally. They feel disconnected spiritually. They feel like there's a generationally. separation between mother, father, grandparents, and I think they really think it's more about survival than what it's more about them, their survival rate, and less about direction and legacy.
Mm.
I think that's those things. That's how I would put the crisis within. Not I ain't gonna blame it on white people. Not yet. That we already know those factors. We already know those factors. Like we know we can preach that part all day. But the things that we know, we never talk about the things that we do to ourselves. That's what I'm saying right now.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. That's true. We really don't touch on that. It's like, what can we do now to fix that? You know, like
That
what can
part.
you do now to fix it? Because we can't continue to blame society. It's also what we're doing as well to make ourselves better. So yeah, I like that. That's true.
When it comes to these systemic forces like racism and mass incarceration, economics, economic equality, and how do you think that's going to shape? How do you think that shapes the evolution of the black family? Like, what your thoughts is?
I mean, that's a deep question. I feel like, in most I feel like in most places it really can like hold us back, if that makes sense. It's that's a you got me thinking over here
Yeah,
today.
yeah, yeah.
It's a
See, I
lot of
want,
because there's so many obstacles that mess up people's lives. It's just
yeah,
it's it's so many obstacles, and that's my take on
man.
it.
I've been. This is how I thought about it. I literally, I was sitting here. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. After we got off work yesterday, I found this clip, and I was like, I just really been thinking it. And the mass incarceration. I'm gonna start off with that. Mass incarceration. That's really that's one of the biggest things that's taking black fathers out of the household.
Yeah,
I start off with that, and I'm one that believes that I don't think a single mother could do it by herself. I don't think a single father could do it by herself. I'm the person that believes that we need both parents inside of the house, or I don't want to say both parents because sometimes it just be what it is. At least uh, a mother figure and a father figure. Let's say it like that, because every time you're not gonna get the best of both worlds sometimes. But I guess a strong mother figure, strong father figure, preferably the biological parents in that fashion. I think that's what us taking the black father out of us taking the black father out of the household is going to be one of the biggest situations.
yeah,
And then just generational poverty,
yeah.
generational poverty that's stopping us from wealth building. You
You're
know what I'm
right.
saying?
And then like with mass incarceration, it's like that's really happening because of all the limited opportunities that a lot of young people have, young black men, men that get out of, because a lot of times whenever men
Yeah,
get out of jail, they turn right back into jail because they can't get hired. If you got a felony, it's hard for them to get hired. However, we got a felon for a president. But that's another,
you had to throw
another
that part in there,
conversation.
right?
I did because it's like, okay, and that's where it all points back to black men. It's okay if a white man's doing it. And I know we don't
Mm,
talk about it, but it's true. It's
it's true.
true.
I ain't gonna
Because
knock
if
that part.
Barack was the felon, oh, baby, he would be
Oh, they gonna talk about it in a whole different way.
a whole different way. But
Yeah,
it's
you're right.
like, okay, well, now, I mean, it's another man in power. At the same time, it's just like, it don't matter. But if it was us doing it, it would matter.
Yeah,
And, it's just like the limited opportunities. They get out of jail, try to look for a job, can't get a job because you have a felony. And then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go back to selling drugs.
doing
I'm going to go back to robbing. I'm going to go back to stealing. I'm going to go back to killing. So it's
yeah.
just like the same cycle because we've been conditioned and brainwashed to do this. Like, oh, you're not good enough, but you are good enough.
You are.
So, go out there, get your money the right way. Even if you got to start, it's going to be difficult at first,
Oh,
but take that money, start your own business because you can never tell
facts.
yourself no.
I'm gonna say this right now before we head to break. One of the biggest factors. I'm not even gonna talk about the incarceration. One of the biggest factors is media. And
Yeah,
people gonna say, "Why
yes.
media?"
Yeah.
At a brush of a stroke, they never talk about the good factors. I think me and you was talking offline about how I think you was telling me about the black father and how people always portray them to be like a
Like,
negative.
yeah, social media,
Yeah,
on social media, how they portray black men. Black men do not provide. Black men don't do this for their children. Oh, but you have social media and then you have the real world. Because when I'm
exactly.
out and about and I'm shopping, I see black men with their family. I see black men providing. I see black men opening and closing doors. I see that in the real world, but on social media, they're trying to circulate the negative parts of a black man, which, I mean, it's not real. You have the real world and you have social media.
That
So
part.
get off social media, step outside the real world. Because when I go outside, I see black men with black women.
There you go.
I see a lot of black men with black women. It's rare that I see a black
Yep.
man with a white woman when I go outside. I see it on social media a lot because they're trying to push that agenda.
Yep.
However, in the real world, I see black
You see
men doing
what it
what they
is.
need to do.
That's what I'm saying. Go back
So,
to it. They always want to just a stroke of a brush. They just always want to point the negative side. They never say
hmm
anything else about what we really got going on, and that's the
right.
stuff that's impacting the black family, and that's the evolution of the black family right now because they already show the negativity of it.
Yeah.
Woo,
And it's
Coco, we
also
talking
who you
about it.
choose too, because you know who
Yeah,
you choose before you choose them. Like
that part.
instead of choosing the bad boy, you got to choose the good guy.
Hey, get away from the
So,
thugs, girl.
yeah.
Listen, we're gonna continue the conversation at the break. 804-476-2306. Make sure y'all leave it in the comments. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. Be back in a second. It's Global R&B. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Midday Lounge, Global R&B 96.3. Listen, I'm smiling because I like to have these real conversations. Before that break, me and your girl Coco, we talk about the crisis or the evolution of the black family. Like what's really going on inside the black family? What's the reason why we're not getting married? What's the reason why we got single parent household? What's the reason why we got generational gaps between the black family? You know what I'm saying? So that's what we talked about before the break. So you want to join the conversation, hit the hotline 804-476-2306.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, just getting back to the topic, what roles have faith, community, and culture played in sustaining the Black family? What do you feel like the major roles?
And you can say however you want it. You can say that slavery is the one reason why we kind of had,
hmm
you know, why we kind of had Christianity brought upon
Yeah.
us. But
Yeah.
end of the
Yeah.
day, the church it used to be a lifeline for us. It used to be
Yeah.
something that people used to really get down with. But now, as of yet, the younger generation, as they call them, the YNs,
Yeah.
they got a strong disconnect with the church now. And I just think that if we bring it back to our cultural traditions, if we bring it back to those stories that we used to hear from grandmama and granddaddy, I think we need to revive those things back up. And I do think this is me. I don't have a religion.
Right.
I believe exactly what the Bible says. I don't
hmm
do religion because religion is just saying that you want to be a part of something. I almost look at
Yeah.
religion like a game. I wholeheartedly believe what the Bible says for me. That's how
Yeah.
I am. I don't, there's nobody inside this world that could ever take me away from the God I believe in or make me
hmm
change my mind about it. So I think that we could have a stronger hunger for having a strong connection, spiritual connection with God again. And that's what I believe. Now,
Right.
some other people might believe other things, but I think that disconnect from the cultural traditions, that disconnect from the quote unquote church or your spiritual belief in a strong fashion, actually believing in something and having a foundation inside your spiritual realm is what is keeping the black family at bay nowadays because they have
Right.
that strong disconnection from it now.
Yeah, it is a disconnect. It's unfortunate it got to that point, but it is a
Yeah.
big disconnect from what it was in the past. So,
Yeah, man. Yes. All right. So when it comes to the generational gap, the disconnect between the OGs and these new YNs, and for people that's
hmm
listening across the cross, I say that for the black families, but for when I say OGs, I'm talking about the older generations. When I'm talking about YNs, I'm talking about these young knuckleheads
yes.
that have a strong disconnection between the two. Like, what you think that is? What you think that's working on? What we need to do to bring the families back together?
I mean, it's a lot to bring the family back together, but at the same time, like the older generation, they're trying to teach the young men, the YNs, what to do to stay out of trouble. However, it kind of goes over their head. So
hmm
I feel like with the older generation, they've had more experiences than a lot of the younger generations because they've experienced everything. So with
Yeah.
the young generation, I feel like they kind of spoiled as well. Like, okay, this is what I want right now. I'm gonna go get it instead of thinking logically before they react.
Yeah.
So, when it comes down to that, as far as like, the disconnect is what they've seen growing up. Like,
Yeah.
our older generation, they see everything
Yeah.
1950s, 1960s, 19 everything. So,
Facts.
yeah, it's just, mm,
I think I just want to tap on that real quick. That question for me had me thinking like back in. I'm just gonna give a quick little story. Back in the day, when I had my daughter. I was 19 years old. I had my baby young. I
mhm,
ain't gonna act like I knew everything,
right.
but I was glad my mama was there and she showed
hmm
me. She showed me how to love on a little girl because I was sitting here treating my daughter like she was a boy.
Uh,
But she said, you gotta treat your daughter a certain way. That's one
yeah,
thing. And
yeah.
then when I was working, I used to work the docks. I used to work at this place called Carroll Tire. I was working at, and I think I told you I used to do wheel distribution back in the day. So I
hmm
worked at this place called Carroll Tire. We delivered to all the little tire companies. And it wasn't. I worked with. I was 21, 19 to 21 years old. And I was working with all these guys that's been there for 30 years. They like 16. They close to their 60s, about to retire. And they used to give me some of the best advice I ever heard in my life as a OG. I think those conversations are what kind of transformed me into the man that I am today. Like I'd rather be connected to the people that's seen it, the people that's done it. And I think some of the adversities they've been through tops anything I had ever been through in my life at that time.
Right.
So, not saying that I gotta follow inside their exact footsteps, but keep that in the back of my mind. Like I remember this person told me something.
Yeah.
And like the advice he gave me, or the things that he or she seen at the time. I keep that in the back of my head, so I don't necessarily make it exactly everything about me, but it trickulated, or it helped me with my matriculation into manhood. I say
Right.
that part. You know
And
what I'm
then
saying?
since you touched on that, like, this is a totally different topic, but how do you feel like gender roles and expectations within the Black
Ooh.
family contributed to conflict or cohesion? Like, so what's your
Ooh.
thought on that?
Now this
Because
is gonna be a quick
it
tricky
can either
question.
bring family together or it can cause tension and resentment.
So this is how I'm seeing it, and this is so women and man, woman and man. When it comes to the woman, man, they often expected to be everything. They're often expected to be that caretaker. They are often expected to be that provider. They're expected to be that leader. Nowadays, it could have been back in the days too, but I wasn't born back then. The Black man, he deals with the pressure of quote unquote manning up.
Yeah.
But they're often taught not how to. They're often not taught how to deal with healing. All right, and even with that, we talked about the incarceration of the Black man. The Black man, a lot of these Black men don't know how to be men because they didn't have men inside the household, right?
Hmm.
And then you got the traditional roles. Yeah, I think traditional roles between man and woman are something that we clash at nowadays. So I don't want to say we need to take the space for it, but I don't want to say it like that. I want to say that no matter what, we need to figure out how a man can sit inside his masculinity, a woman can sit inside her femininity. And when I say that, that does not diminish either one of them. Because man, my mama is one of the most feminine women I ever met, but that woman is strong. She knows how to get stuff taken care of. She knows to do. My dad always says, if your mom wants to pass away today, I don't know what I do. Because it's
Hmm.
things that she took care of for over 40 years now that my dad never had to touch. And there's things that
Right.
my dad did for over 40 years that my mama never had to touch. But they complemented each other in a
Yeah.
fashion that makes them successful. Do they have arguments? Yes. What marriage doesn't?
Yeah.
But they survive the test of time with certain things because the things they bring together, they both sit inside their roles, and whatever they bring together, it works for them. So that's how I see. That's why I
Yeah.
kind of like the OGs in that situation. What you think about that question? Talk to me.
I mean, I feel like every family has a different approach because some families, they like that traditional approach. Some like
Yeah.
it to where it's 50-50. Some like it to where the woman stay at home. And then, like you said, the woman stays in her, feminine energy and stays at home, make sure she's doing what she needs to do for the kids, take the kids to school, packing the husband's lunch while he working. But it's like and back to social media, we talked
Yeah.
about that not too long ago. Like on
Yeah.
social media, it's always like, oh, no, I don't go 50-50. Some marriages like to go 50-50. But whenever you see, oh, well, you also talked about pick me's. This is the topic of a pick me because a
Okay. Talk
lot
to
of
me.
people are saying, like, with the 50-50, oh, she a pick me because she going 50-50 with her man. So, so it's just
You
like,
talk.
I feel like every situation is different. Like whenever you come into it, whenever you start dating somebody, that conversation should be brought up in the beginning. Like, what's your thought process? How do you feel like we should be in this relationship? Should it be 50-50? Should it be like, okay, you get pregnant and you stay home with the kids? And
Mm,
some women don't like to stay home. Some women don't
they
like to
don't.
stay home. They like to be out and about. They like to get their own money because they don't want to be controlled and then being told no. And it's nothing wrong with that. Just respect each other.
Yeah.
Like it
I
comes
like
to a
that part.
respect thing. Just like to respect each other. Like, okay,
Li-
well, I do want to work. I don't mind helping. You know.
So
So
just real quick, I know we gotta go to break. And we had to find a way forward for the Black family, and we had to do if you want us to put a restoration on the crisis, what you thinking we should do?
oh Lord.
Oh,
That's
I know it's loaded, right?
that is. And ooh, I'll let you start off with that one. Like what
Ah,
because I feel
okay.
like it starts with communication and understanding. And we already, touched on that. You know,
I, I think that communication right there. I think that we do the intergenerational healing with real conversations, not a lecture, but a real conversation. I think if we do economic power ownerships, cooperation, and building together, teaching our history, not just in schools, but at the home. 'Cause I think we get as parents, not all of us, but some of us, especially these new young knuckleheads,
Mm-hmm.
they only talk about the stuff that's going on right now. They don't talk about the history of
Yeah.
our people. We don't talk about what grandmama used to do, what great granddaddy used to do, and stuff like that. My dad always tell me like, "You would have loved your granddaddy," because my grandfather passed away when I was born. All
Mm-hmm.
right, but and that's one of the situations when it comes to black men too. They work their behinds off, but they don't always get to reap the fruits of their benefits. But I also would say just expanding our ideas of family cohesion and family community and unity. Get away from this. I'm gonna say this because people gonna hate when I say this because I know I'm a more of a conservative person. I think we should get away from being so fluid with everything, just saying, "Oh, this is good. We could do whatever I want." I believe there should be some structure nowadays in the family, not just everybody being so fluid to do whatever we want to do. Communicate. This is what I'm gonna do. Communicate. This is what you should do, and we figured out how to do that thing together. Not just saying, "Well, I just want to do this. I'm gonna do this," or I want you to do that, so you're gonna do that. Not just a man trying to overpower a woman, not just a woman trying to
Right.
overpower a man, or not us just trying to overpower our children. Because I think we put a lot of pressure on our children by just telling them that this is what you're going to do,
Yeah.
but not explaining, like, not allowing them to figure things out slowly but surely for themselves.
Yeah.
Bring that stuff together. I think that could be the restoration of the Black family.
I like that. And like how you said, it's like not really telling them what to do, but educating them on why they should do it this way. Instead of saying, no, you need to do this. Because we're so used to saying you need to do this instead of saying, okay, we'll do this because of this. Do
Yeah.
this. Save your money so you don't struggle. Have a savings so you don't struggle. Invest your money so that whenever it comes to that point, you don't struggle. So have a reason behind it. Educate.
Yes. Man, listen. I think this is a good conversation. I know you was like, "Damn, I don't know how we gonna do this," but hey, it came together
Yeah.
perfectly, right? Came together. I told you this deep conversation. Sometimes we don't. I like me, even me. I had to literally sit about thinking, well, I don't know how we can have this conversation, but I want to have this conversation on air with everybody. So listen, you got a comment? Leave it inside the comment section on our YouTube or Instagram, even on what's the thing called Tickety Talk. If we still got it, I don't know if we're still here or not.
It's still
And
here.
Spotify. We're going to be back in a second. Hit the hotline 804-476-2306. We still got world news as well as entertainment news in the game of the day. Be back in a second. Global R&B.